Good day, everyone. Today I got a pretty cool video. I got one of the cheapest enclosed 48 volt lithium batteries I could find for the e-bike on Amazon. I paid $139 for it, and was with free shipping to my house. I actually just opened the package. It was packaged real well, and everything kind of looks decent so far. Came with a 2 amp charger, came with a key plug-in XT60 that you could solder to your bike. And then this is the one that goes to the mount of the battery, comes with the mount and the actual battery. The battery makes some pretty bold claims there that we're going to check today. So it's 48 volt, 10 amp hours. Actually on here it says 10.4 amp hours. That's 48 volts, 54.6, so it should be 13S battery. Instantaneous max discharge 75 amp is just a momentary discharge. Continuous discharge is 30 amp. Charge current is 2 amp, which matches the charger that they give you. It's pretty good. Yeah, its BMS is 30. And then it has a temperature protection. It has under voltage and over voltage protections. That's just printed the thing out just to kind of see their claims. Anti-over voltage protection, or anti-over discharge protection, anti-over current protection. So that's some of the claims we're going to check today. Check the capacity of this. We're going to take this thing apart and see if it's built any good. See if what's even on the inside. Well, is there even enough cells to give you a 10 amp capacity? If you're interested, stay tuned. So also this thing comes with on-off button and also a USB port right there. That's pretty cool. You can charge your phone or whatever there. So, and you got the indicator, and it comes fully charged, which is weird. Normally they ship them at like 30% or so. But anyways, that's actually, this could be kind of a concern if it sits at the factory. Not the factory, at the warehouse for a little while, and it's fully charged like that. They could actually degrade the capacity if it's been sitting. So that's maybe one thing I'll say. All right, so we're gonna take this apart real quick. Okay, so inside the battery, it's shrink wrapped. There are 18650 cells. The BMS that's in here is 13S BMS, but it also says that it's 40 amp. I don't know if you guys could see it or not. It has a nice heat sink. They're saying it's 30 and it's 40. So that's good. The cells are just pink cells, no markings on them. Let's see if I could tell how many of these are in group by like peeling some of this paper back. 4 of these in the group. To have 10 amp hours, you would have to have 2.5 amp hour each, so 2500 milliamp hours. So that's not far-fetched. The wire management is okay. We have a balance cables kind of tucked away neatly. They're coming together, they're all cut to length, so that looks actually really nice. This wire for the switch came pinched, as you can see. That's something maybe they could improve on. Wanted to show you this. One of the spot welds isn't perfect. Doesn't look like they burned through the cell though, so that's good. It is on the negative side, so it's a little concerning. You can burn through the cell on the negative side. They are using insulator rings on the positive sides. That's also a bonus. That adds extra safety. You can see they burned through the shrink wrap when they were shrink wrapping it, and then that's why they added the piece of tape right there. Interesting. So it does come at 49.7 volts. Normally they ship batteries about 30% or so. That just makes sense if they're sitting at the warehouse, so they're not fully charged, and that's what degrades them, so that's not ideal. As far as the build quality, it's okay. I don't think it's a fire hazard. They are using a plastic spacers, so none of these cells are touching, so that's very good. They are using insulator rings, so that's good. The wire gauge seems to be fair, 12 gauge, so I mean that's okay. It's a 200 C wire. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put it on a charger And when I charge it up all the way, I am going to use the supply charger here. Alright, so the pack is still charging, and while I was charging, I decided to see the voltage in all individual cell groups, and I started with my first group right here, and it's at 3.78 volts. Next group over is 3.88 volts. This group here is at 4.07 volts. And as I'm going through, these groups are kind of all over the place as far as like how out of balance this pack is. And I don't know if it's because these cells are kind of low quality and then the self-discharge rate is kind of high on some of them compared to the others, and that's why it's got out of balance so much. It's kind of also makes sense why they would just ship you a battery that was a higher state of charge, because if these cells kind of self-discharge at a decent rate, then if they ship it to you at a low state of charge like 30%, by the time it sits at the warehouse, it gets to you, this thing is going to be dead on arrival. That's interesting. Maybe when they assembled it, it just was out of balance, period, which I don't see it. I think those cells are probably was assembled with the same voltage on it, I would assume. But maybe they are out of balance. We're going to find out if this BMS has balancing. So whenever as the pack fills up, it should actually even up all those cell groups, and then they should be identical, about 4.2 volts at full charge. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and then we'll see what the BMS does. It's if it will even out all these cells for us, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I've been letting this pack charge for quite a while. It charged and I was letting it sit for like 3-4 hours just to see if the BMS would balance the cells out. And I have some bad news on that part there, because it doesn't seem to have any balancing. So our lowest cell group is at like 3.92, and it's been sitting at about 3.92 volts. And all the cell groups are still a bit out of whack. The highest cell group is at 4.19, and as we go through, there are not identical voltages. They're quite a bit off. And the reason that's the bad news is because if this pack is already that far out of whack, just straight out of factory, it's just going to get worse and worse as you're using it or just letting it sit. So most likely some of these cell groups self-discharge faster than the others, and this difference in these cell groups are going to get greater and greater and greater, and then that will degrade the capacity of the pack over time. It already has, like, because on the discharge side, this is going to be a weak point, because once the BMS senses this getting closer to whatever 2.8 volts or whatever it's set for, that's going to cut off the whole pack. That's where it brings me to the good news about this pack. It does have over voltage protection. It does not let any cell groups go over 4.2 volts, because the whole pack voltage is, if I go on the battery side of the BMS, we're sitting at 53 volts, and if I check the charge side of the BMS, we're sitting at 54.6. So the BMS senses this cell group at 4.2 volts and it stops the charging. So that's a good part. It's not going to burn your house down, because if it didn't do that, it would let the whole pack charge up to 54.6 volts, and this individual cell group, for example, that's high, would go over 4.2 volts, overcharge, and that's how you would start the fire. So for the good news, it doesn't set your house on fire. For the bad news, it doesn't have any balancing, and this cells, which that not having the balancing is not necessarily a terrible thing. It's not good, but it's not super terrible, as long as your cells are good quality, they don't self-discharge. So I'm gonna unplug it from charging, and then the next thing I'm gonna do a discharge test on it, just to see what the capacity would be as it sits, and we'll get you an update. All right, it's next morning, and the discharge test is done, and we ended up with 7.32 amp hours, not quite the 10.4 that they were claiming. So that's a bit of a bad news there. For the good news, it does have over discharge protection. It's actually shut off. As you can see, there's 0 volts, but the pack still has voltage on it. So the lowest cell group is at 3 volts, and the highest is at like 3.6. So I went through and checked.
I'm gonna recharge this pack back up, and we'll draw a conclusion on it.
Alright, so I got the pack recharged back up, and then what I decided to do is use my bench power supply and bump up all the cell groups that are low back up to 4.2 volts, so that way this pack is actually fully balanced, because I am going to use this pack in one of the e-bike projects that I'm doing. I wanted to go over a couple other claims that they're making. They have the over temp and protection, which I was looking around and I did find the temperature sensor, and it was kind of tucked away behind the balance cables, which is not ideal. This temperature sensor should probably be touching the cells, and sometimes using that thermal glue to kind of glue it to the cell, so it knows the temperature of the cell. Underneath the balance cable, it doesn't get the true temperature, so the cells could overheat, so the temperature thing is not ideal, I would say that. Another thing that they are claiming is 1,000 deeply cycles, so they're claiming 1,000 cycles on this battery. I can't prove or disprove this, but one thing I will say is I have these EV cells. They're 26Rs. This is the budget cells, and they claim 300 cycles up to 80% capacity on the data sheet. So they are going to lose 20% of its capacity in just the 300 cycles. And these cells do not self-discharge like the cells that we've got. These manufactured in 2023, 12/28 of 28 right there, and they are within 0.02 volts of each other just from sitting in a box. So you kind of make your own conclusion. I cannot say, hey, they're not going to do 1,000 cycles, but I mean, there's some of the even best of the cells, brand names like Samsungs and LGs that don't do 1,000 cycles. But I mean, I can't prove or disprove this. I'm not going to cycle this pack 1,000 times just to see if it's still going to work or not. I believe one of the causes of the death of this pack eventually is going to be all these cell groups that are going to get way out of whack. And the just capacity is going to get less and less and less. You could probably like tear it apart and rebalance it again, like I'm doing now manually, and get more life out of this. But that's not what you should be doing. There's some nice parts about this pack. It does have a nice BMS with a nice heat shield. If they would have included the balancing, it probably would have increased the life of the pack. Or even with this BMS and the better cells that are don't self-discharge and kind of stay true to each other and stay balanced, this pack could have gotten a way higher lifespan also. Would I say to buy this? Probably, if you can spend a few extra bucks, I would go with the pack with the brand name cells. I think you would probably get more life out of this. If the only thing you could afford is something like this, it's not gonna burn your house down, I don't think, because I mean it is made pretty safe. I really like the cell holders on here. I like that they're using insulators and everything else. I like the wire management on here, even though the couple wires got pinched. They could have done a better job on the temperature sensor. It does have over voltage and under voltage protection, so this is also good. So BMS is doing its job. It does have fat heat sink. I think it you can pull some power out of this pack without overheating this BMS, so that's also great. That's basically it, guys. I think this is going to be the end of the test. I'm gonna finish balancing this out manually and use it on my bike and see how it goes. I hope you guys like this video. Hopefully it is gonna help you guys decide whether you want this particular brand of the battery for your bike or not, and I'll let you make your own decision. And I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.